Hey, it's August 27th and I'm headed back up to the property to actually rebait again. Unfortunately, something went awry. I had that consistent bear, that decent sized bear on the one station. After I went up last week, I didn't do anything different. I used the same bait, used the same fryer grease, but for some reason, he was in, as you could see in the pictures from the last video, he was in 34 minutes after I was there. He was back at the station. But he just did a walkthrough. He didn't stay and eat. He didn't eat anything there, and he hasn't been back since. So I don't know what I did that spooked him off. The only thing I could think of is that he had been laying down in front of the barrel feeding. And what I did unknowingly is just I changed that area, maybe for his comfort, by putting that fryer grease down where he had been laying, thinking that I'd get it in his coat. So I don't know if that change in the environment spooked him off, but he hasn't been back since. Now at the other bait station, I'm still getting that little tiny bear in, and just last night, you know, you'll see here, it looks like this bear, I don't think this is the same bear. It's not much bigger, but it does look a little bit bigger than the bear that's been in there. Now the one thing I do know is that fishers must really like the bait that I'm using. I'm using that trail mix and that dehydrated cookie dough, because in both stations now I'm getting fishers in eating. The only thing I have going for me at the one station right now is that the coon have finally started coming back again. After last week, I didn't get anything again. No bear, no coon, no nothing. So I did something that really spooked everything out of that area. And I don't know what. I mean, I drove in with the ATV, but I did that originally too. So I don't know. I'm a little heartbroken because I was really pumped because I was a decent sized bear, be a good first bear. So what I'm gonna do now is obviously I'm not gonna rebait that because there's plenty of bait there. I might take a little bit and spread it onto the ground, but I am bringing some stink. I'm gonna put a stink bag up in that area and maybe that'll bring them back in. I just don't know. I don't know if I should put bait around where I put down where he was laying in front of the barrel. Hey, if you got any ideas or suggestions on what I did wrong, let me know. Again, this is the first time I'm bear hunting since I was a wee kid, and even back then I really didn't do anything. I just sat in the stand. Yeah, so I'm thinking just disturbing the environment is what spooked him off. So that's gonna be our plan. We're gonna go to that other bait station with the little bear. I am going to replenish that one. I might put a stink bag out there too, just to see if I can attract some other bears in. Season opens on Monday, so hopefully whatever I do here, I'll start getting some consistency with a bear coming in. Fingers crossed, so when I get back on Sunday night, Monday, I can come up and spend some time in a tree. So we'll see. Here we go. ATV over to that second bait station. And I want to grab some rubber gloves for that stink. I'll throw these in here. Shut up. All right, I got the four-wheeler loaded. I am headed to the bait station to the east of my property. It's about 5 miles away. The plan is to put in 3 buckets of feed, hang a stink bait, and get in, get out. I'm gonna use a little bit more of that smoke spray. That'll be our plan. First things first, haul a couple buckets down. So you didn't eat much, but the problem is, on this station, I didn't mix it. Now this is what I want here. So now I'm gonna put that bear steak right there. That'll be perfect. Gone wild. Super smoke. All right, here goes the nasty. Spray. So it's 10:37. Now we'll see when this little bear comes back. Lots of different options for trees to sit in here depending on the wind. We're gonna be hunting saddle, so should be able to kind of sit anywhere. All right, we're pulling out. All right, just leaving that east bait station. For as frequent as that bear's been there, sure hasn't eaten very much. Now, this bait station, what I was doing is I was doing a bucket of cookie dough and a bucket of trail mix. And on top was more of the cookie dough. So I'm thinking that the trail mix would have been a little bit better for him to come back and maybe eat a little bit more. I don't know. But I got the stink bag up. I think that's in a really good location. Put some that smoke attractant out, and then I put a little bit more of the trail mix out on the ground in front. So we'll see. It was about 10:37, to be exact, when I was leaving that bait station. So we'll see when the little guy comes back. Next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna head back, and I am gonna go put another stink bag out in the one right off the property on that forfeited land. First thing I want to do is kind of look at where I want to put this stink bait. Yeah, that's the problem. Just all slimy. Where do I want to put this? Maybe right there? Yeah, let's try that. This fucking shit stings. Right in through here he comes too. Right through here. So, lots of areas that it comes through. Now we'll see what the stink bait does. All right, so I'm back. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna fill up my bucket just in case while I'm gone, the bears start hitting the baits really good. I don't want Andy and my buddy Jeff have to do that. They can just come up, grab the buckets, take the ATV and go. Well, that wasn't so bad. Other than me forgetting the mesh bags at the truck at each location, things went fairly well. On the forfeited land, I brought one bucket out and just brought out trail mix. And what I did is I put it in front of where I dumped all that grease where I usually lay down. I'm hoping maybe that absorbs some of the grease. Doubt it, but maybe that will help in correcting what he felt was wrong. Again, I don't know what happened. I'd love to hear some advice. If you're a bear hunter and you have some advice on what I did or what maybe I could have done different. Again, I used the same bait, used the same fryer grease, came in and out on the same trail, made sure I was coming in and out when he wasn't active at the bait station from what I've learned. So I don't know, the only thing I can think happened was me putting that fryer grease right where he laid down, right in front of that bait station. And my philosophy again was it'd get onto his coat, and as he walked through the woods, that would rub off in the foliage and maybe get other bears to come in. So that's the only thing I could think happened. But let me know. That's what I love about hunting. I learn nowadays with the technology, YouTube, the trail cameras, you can have instant feedback and kind of learn what's happening and failing fast and changing and making different plans. I'd love to hear some advice. If you guys, anyone out there that wants to leave a comment and tell me what they think maybe happened, again, that's how I learn. But here are the pictures from the 8 o'clock transmission from the cameras at both of the bait stations. Either you're looking at an empty bait station or hopefully you're seeing a couple bears or some kind of wildlife coming into those bait stations. Either these stink sacks are going to draw bears in or it's going to chase everything in the county away because that stuff stunk. Hey, watch for shorts throughout the weekend. I'm going to post pictures that I'm getting if there's any action on these bait stations on little shorts on my YouTube channel, just to show the progression of what's happening and seeing how these stink sacks actually worked out. So stay tuned.